We must have our heart cleansed. Remember David a couple of weeks ago? Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. That's just not asking for forgiveness from his murder of Uriah and for committing adultery with Bathsheba. But there's so many things that foul up our hearts that we need to be cleansed from. We've got to have clean hearts, hearts that are filled with love and compassion and with forgiveness. And when we do, the words that come out will build up. They won't tear down. There was a study made a number of years ago. I had a professor talk about it. About a gentleman who put a tape recorder in his top pocket and turned it on at 7:30 in the morning. And it ran all day long. And that night, he sat down about 8 o'clock and he turned off the tape recorder. And there was a record of all of the things that he said for the whole day. He was petrified to turn it on. Would you be? Would you be happy with the words that you said all day long? Would I be? Would you be happy? Would I be happy with the tone in my voice? With the sarcasm that I use so frequently? What kind of words would I say in a 12 or a 15-hour period? What kind of language would I use? What message would I impart that would come out of that tape recorder? What would that tape say about my character? It's a real challenge. It really is, to keep our communication wherever we are, at home, at work, at school, on a higher plane, because that's not what the world is calling for today. We can so easily drop down to degenerate into evil speaking, into malicious speaking, and into complaining. Remember again, it's not what goes into your mouth, but what comes out that defiles you. Our vocabulary, the words we use, is an indication of our intellect. Our words, my mother used to tell me this, show two things. It shows what your character is, and it shows your intelligence. She said any dummy can fill every sentence with a 4-letter word. And I was just like every other third grader. I went through them. I know them. I can still miss a 4-foot putt, and at least the thoughts are there. I can tell you that. But they define who we are. And I read a great sentence, just a wonderful sentence. And I hope if you take nothing home with you, remember this. Our grammar and our syntax reveals the degree of our education and of our refinement. But our speech is a reflection of our spirit. And I think if you look at that and think about that statement, it is just so powerful. And we have to be careful how we speak to one another. There was a PSA, public service announcement, a number of years ago, put out by the National Committee for the Prevention of Child Abuse. And in it made the statement, words that hit as hard as a fist. Words that can hit as hard as a fist. Listed some of the things that parents say to their children. Now think about saying this to your 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old. The impact. You disgust me. Just shut up. You're pathetic. You can't do anything right. You are so stupid. Just get out of my face. I'm sick of it. And then, along with these words on that PSA was a picture of a small child with tears coming down her face. And the caption under it said, "Children believe what their parents tell them." And that's so true. So true. When a parent tells a child the child is stupid, the kid believes it. When she is told that she's ugly and disgusting, she develops that self-identity, and it reflects in her from then on. We have to be careful of how we speak at home, in the workplace, even here with our church. The Bible instructs us to be careful how you live and to live as wise people, and that beyond any shadow of a doubt applies to what comes out of our mouth. Years ago, I had a professor at seminary. He was teaching premarital counseling. And one of the things he said was ask the couple, each one, to write down 3 compliments that the other has paid to them in the last month, and see what happens. And I've done this over the years, and it's amazing to me how many couples can't come up with 3 compliments that the other has paid them over a relatively short period of time. And that's sad that even that early in a relationship between 2 people that are planning on spending the rest of their lives together, there's nothing there to build that relationship on. And it really brings to mind the story of a lady who walked into her den. And here was her husband, sprawled out on the sofa, watching football, big thing of popcorn in front of him, popcorn between the cracks in the cushions of the sofa, a couple of empty cans there on the coffee table. And she said, "Are you ever going to take out the trash?" And he just didn't hear her. And finally she said, "I want to know right now, do you love me more than football?" And there was no answer. And she said, "Well," and he screwed up his face and he looked at her and he said, "Well, honey, I love you more than I love bowling." And that was his answer. More than bowling. Folks, you have a need, and I have a need, and we all have a need to hear words of reassurance and of love and of comfort. Those words build bridges between people, and it builds understanding and loyalty, and it creates an arena of gentleness and patience. If we're critical, we're going to get criticism in return. If we're complimentary, we're going to receive compliments. And I want to end today with an anonymous poem that I found that I think just sums it up very nicely. And it says, "I love you not only for what you are, but for what I am when I am with you. I love you not only for what you have made of yourself, but for what you're making of me. I love you for putting your hand into my heaped up heart and passing over all the foolish, weak things that you can't dimly see there, and you draw out into the light all the beautiful things that no one else has ever looked for or felt down far enough, quite far enough, to find. I love you because you are helping me make the lumber of my life not into a cabin, but you're trying to make my life a temple. Out of the works of my everyday, there's not complaint that you find, but you give me a song." So, we got another 4, 5, 6 weeks left of summer. And I would challenge you to take a little time to reflect upon your language, our language, upon words that hurt and words that heal. And remember the exhortation. Remember Paul's sermon. He's shaking his finger. And he said, "Let no words, no bad word pass your lips, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs." We need to use words that are gracious and that are a means of grace to all of those to whom we speak. If you don't hear me this morning, please go back to the 3rd grade and hear Paul when he said to the people in Ephesus, and he says to us, be ye kind, one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God, through Christ, has forgiven us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.